Welcome back. The Cinco de Mayo celebration continues here on Oklahoma Live. And our relationship expert and licensed therapist, Donnie Van Curen, is here to answer a few more of your viewer questions. So, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Jump right into it. Lacey from Oklahoma City says, my boyfriend has a guy friend I can't stand. I don't trust this friend. I think he's a bad influence on my boyfriend, and I think he disrespects our relationship. I've talked to my boyfriend about it before, but nothing changes. What should I do?
Ooh. You know, this is tough because you're at a point where you've already talked about it. And so I really think it's either acceptance or forced change. I mean, at some point you have to accept the fact that your boyfriend's not going to make a change and accept this person for what he is, or you're going to have to make that change and start looking elsewhere or messing up the relationship.
So, I mean, a friend is worth breaking up over?
It could. I mean, at that point, she's not the only one making that decision. He's making that decision as well. So, I mean, at some point you either accept it or you have to make some changes to the relationship. And that isn't, you know, first choice, but at the same time, if he's not going to make a change, you've already talked about it, then you're kind of forced to that.
Yeah. That's tough.
That is tough.
I think every guy should have that friend that the girl hates. It's just part of the whole thing. It's part of the fun.
Why does every guy have that friend? That's what I mean.
You always have that friend in your group. It's the Stifler from American Pie.
Gosh, yeah.
They make you laugh. So here's our next friend from Shauna. Oh, poor Shauna. How do you know if a guy is just playing the game or if he's really into you?
Right. You know, some of the traits I think you see in this is patience, sacrifice, understanding. You know, if this person you're dating is willing to wait or show a little bit of degree of, hey, I'm going to wait on you, or I'm going to be patient, or I'm going to be a little more understanding with the way you are or aren't, you know, those are signs that tell us good things. Now, those aren't definite. That doesn't mean there's not something going on behind the scenes, but those are traits that I think we see from people that are genuine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is there some point, do you sit down and say, hey, are you into me? Or does that always go poorly?
You know, I think you can. I'm always going to push communication and honest communication, but if this guy's playing, what's he going to say?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you're
Exactly.
great.
So communication is the great way to do it, but I think watching traits, you'll learn more about a person by how he acts than necessarily what he says.
Okay.
Oh, the game. It's always fun, the game.
It's all about the game, the
It
chase, blah, blah, blah. You guys are crazy.
Hey, girls play the game, too. It's not
that's
just
true. We're big game
You
players.
can actually play it better.
That's true. I'll admit that. Well, Jennifer from Oklahoma City says, if you have to pick between two different guys, is it better to choose one who I have great chemistry with but different financial goals, or a guy who has my same financial goals but not much chemistry?
You know, I like this question because I think you've got to be really careful, because over time, you know, both of those are going to change. If you have a long-term relationship, the chemistry is going to change. Probably your views and finances are going to change. So there's no definite where if we follow that trend, everything will be okay. However, I would lean more towards the chemistry because I think that has a lot deeper value. It has a lot of deeper staying power than the financial side of things. That doesn't mean both of them aren't going to change eventually. So you need to be careful of what eggs you're putting in what basket.
Yeah. Haven't been married for a long time, and I'm sure you can vouch for this. Things change. I mean, people change, political views, religious views. I mean, everything changes. So if you don't really have that connection with the person, it's not going to work out.
Well, and if this is a young couple, I mean, their financial situations and how they view it are going to change manyfold probably. And so you got to be very careful with that.
All right, well, here's one more from Sherry in Oklahoma City. My husband works all the time, and I'm a homemaker. I feel like we don't spend enough time together, but he's always tired from working. How do I solve this? That's a tough one.
And this is a popular one. In my office, when I see couples, this is a consistent theme. You'll see a lot of heavy working and not a lot of time together. And you can't really build a relationship unless you spend time together. It's impossible. So some of the things that I would advise her is plan ahead. Okay, plan a weekend ahead. Plan something that when the husband comes in, the kids are taken care of. Maybe they're their babysitter and dinner set up. You know, plan a lunch date. Somehow planning ahead and making sure that you get his attention and that you're setting that up to be as a good experience as possible. He's going to be tired, so maybe you have to look on the weekends. It may be a situation where weekdays aren't going to work, but planning ahead and making a point to make that a priority. And then what we talked about earlier, communicating, talking to him and saying, when can we get some time? I don't want to, you know, I love the job you're doing. I love that you work hard for our family. But at the same time, when can you get me some time and I'll make take care of the details.
Have you seen this become more of a problem? I work 2 jobs. I know so many people that work 2 jobs now. Is this becoming more of an issue?
I don't know if it's becoming more of an issue. I think it's always been an issue. You have men that work. Now you're seeing a lot more women that are working 2 jobs, actually. And I think what happens is when we get married and have kids and et cetera, the priority of our marriage gets lower and lower.
Yeah.
Once you got work and maybe some friends and the kids and civic groups or whatever, we tend to put that marriage down and we get what we invest in. Our return on investment is very clear in relationships. If we don't invest in our relationship and our marriage, we get that in return.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's good.
He is very good.
Yeah,
And
return
also,
on your investment. I like that.
Return on your investment. There you go. That's so fun. I want to get the return on this investment.
Good luck.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for being here, Donnie. We always appreciate it. Well, coming up, we have been talking about Mother's Day for a while, and it is almost here.
That's right. Verizon Wireless has apps on tap. They're going to make Mom's big day very, very, very exciting. So keep it right here. We'll help you out next.